so happy you all survived.
Believe it or not, the first movie of the Back to the Future trilogy turns 35 this year.
Future. That's where you going?
That's right. 25 years into the future. I've always dreamed of seeing the future, looking beyond my years, seeing the progress of mankind.
Our favorite actors from the film have gone through a bunch of personal wins and fails. Maybe some of the cast members wouldn't mind changing one or two things about their lives if given the opportunity to travel back in time.
Time's up, run!
But even though the movie predicted many inventions of the future, we still don't have a legally approved time machine to make it possible. At least not yet.
Your future is whatever you make it!
So, as for now, fasten your belts, subscribe to Rumour Juice YouTube channel, and see what has happened to the Back to the Future cast in these 35 years.
Gag reel.
Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, hi, Mike. I didn't hear you come in.
You couldn't forget the eccentric scientist Doc Emmett Brown, responsible for the tech side of all the crazy time trips throughout the Back to the Future trilogy. It might sound surprising now, but initially Lloyd wasn't even interested in the role of Doc. At the time, Lloyd, who was already well known for his parts in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Taxi, had a feeling that he was trading theater, his true passion, for Hollywood. So, without giving the script much of a look, he threw it in a wastepaper basket. But due to the intervention of a friend and his further meeting with the movie director, Robert Zemeckis, Lloyd totally changed his mind, which he of course doesn't regret. The actor has steadily continued working in film and television since then.
Hey, how you doing?
You will never guess one of his favorite roles, though. In 1991, Christopher joined the cast of The Addams Family as the Creepy Clan's bald Uncle Fester. The actor had been in love with the character since childhood. Lloyd even shaved his head specifically for the purpose of portraying Uncle Fester in both Addams Family movies. Not because it was obligatory, but because he decided that doing so would be a more persuasive and dedicated move than wearing a skull cap. Lloyd, aged 81, has not only been actively filming all this time, but also having marriages and divorces non-stop. In 2016, the actor married for the 5th time, and we hope this time he has found his true love. Christopher seems to be totally content with his life.
Why, that's me! Look at me! I'm an old man!
But there is one thing Doc definitely doesn't like about this new future, and it is the presidency of Donald Trump.
America, great again.
Commenting on the politician running for the White House in 2016, Lloyd said, "He's a beast. He needs to be put in a cage." Michael J. Fox.
See you in the future. You mean the past?
Exactly.
Fact. Back to the Future was the biggest movie of 1985. Fact. Marty McFly became the biggest celebrity crush of the year after the film release. Fact. The movie lead Michael J. Fox, who was at the time also playing another iconic character in the famous 80s sitcom Family Ties, immediately got in the limelight.
I'm 22, and my energy's right now focused on my career.
There was no need to battle for roles anymore. Hardly did he know that several years later, he would face a more complex personal battle, the one for his health and life. In the prime of his career, madly in love with his wife actress Tracy Pollan, raising his first child, 29-year-old Michael, learns he has Parkinson's disease that usually occurs in older people. Unable to process that information, Fox fell into a depression and started drinking heavily, isolating himself from the family.
No cure.
Yeah, no cure. All stuff that now is just like irrelevant to me. I'm not about measuring how long something will last or how long can I do this and how long. It's pointless. It's just another thing that you face and you carry on.
One day, Pollan found her husband, the father of her child, passed out on the floor. "Is this what you want? Is this what you want to be?" she exclaimed in anger and walked out the door. At that point, Fox realized he didn't want the disease to determine the person he was, the person he wanted to be. The actor started taking care of his health and getting to know more about his condition. Tracy was there for him all the time.
Oh, yeah, great, Mom. We're like a couple of teenagers, you know?
In 1998, after undergoing a brain surgery to help relieve tremors, Fox went public to reveal his condition, and it was quite a shock for everyone. The reason I wasn't telling was that I wondered if people would still laugh if they knew I was sick. Fox told Oprah Winfrey. Not only did Fox continue to work after his diagnosis, he became an advocate for Parkinson's disease awareness and launched his Michael J. Fox Foundation for the condition research. In 2012, Fox made one of the most courageous comebacks in the history of American show business by turning his personal battle into a sitcom in which he plays a father who has Parkinson's.
911, what's your emergency?
No, 911. No, I didn't call 911. You know what I did? I called 917, but I missed out. My drugs haven't kicked in. No, I'm fine. Hello?
Staying at home was just too dangerous.
Meanwhile, the happy couple gave birth to 3 more children and will soon celebrate 34 years of their married life. We're not crying. You're crying. Eric Stoltz. Who is that? You might be wondering. Actually, it is Eric Stoltz who was originally cast as Marty McFly and who was set to become a household name. However, a few weeks into filming, director Robert Zemeckis and writer Bob Gale realized that Eric played the role too dramatically and wasn't bringing the screwball energy the film needed. They requested the studio to replace him with Fox and got the approval. But the transition couldn't take place right away, so Stoltz continued filming unaware of the fact his days as Marty McFly were numbered. After the management finally broke the news to Eric, he expectedly took it hard. But here's one interesting fact we bet you didn't know. Stoltz still remained in one notable scene of the final movie. It is the one where Stoltz as Marty punches Biff in Lou's Cafe back in 1955. Leah Thompson. Remember Lorraine, Marty's mom who falls in love with her son after he travels back in time?
You're my mom.
My name is Lorraine. Lorraine Bates.
This role remains the most famous TV appearance of now 58-year-old actress Leah Thompson. She believes that women get very limited opportunities in the industry after giving birth. Thompson, who is a mother of 2 adult children, said in her 2019 interview, "I did 900 movies in a row, but what happens is it all screeches to a halt when you have a baby. I want to do the research on this because once you push a baby out, you can't be a movie star anymore." Before getting married in 1989, the actress in her early 20s had been engaged to Dennis Quaid, whom she met on the set of her first movie, Jaws 3D. But that's all back in the future. We mean back in the past. Thomas F. Wilson. As if Marty and Doc were not legendary enough to stay in the history of cinema for decades, there was yet another iconic character in the film. Bully Biff Tannen, portrayed by Thomas F. Wilson. Just several years ago, writer Bob Gale revealed that Biff was inspired by U.S. President Donald Trump.
Well, I don't know, is that supposed to be a compliment or not?
Trump was already a well-known figure at that time.
Whatever you think, whatever floats your political boat, I just hate peace, man. That's what I'm into, you know.
Gale said in an interview with Daily Beast, "We thought about it when we made the movie. You watch part 2 again, and there's a scene where Marty confronts Biff in his office, and there's a huge portrait of Biff on the wall behind Biff. And there's one moment where Biff kind of stands up, and he takes exactly the same pose as the portrait. Wow. How cool is that, right?"
Time travel doesn't exist.
As for Wilson, he successfully portrayed his unbearable character in all the movies of the trilogy, after which he continued his career as an actor and a voiceover artist. More than that, in 2012, Wilson published a memoir of his Hollywood experiences titled The Masked Man, a memoir and fantasy of Hollywood. Wilson is the father of 4, and his marriage with Caroline Thomas turns 35 this year, just like the movie. Crispin Glover. With his unusual laugh, quiet voice, and some awkwardness in movements, Crispin Glover immediately set himself apart as Marty's dad, George McFly. Even though Crispin didn't return for the movie sequels, he had a productive continuation of his acting career.
Please say hello to the very talented and equally strange Crispin Glover.
And not only, in 2005, he stepped on a new path, releasing his first experimental indie movie as a director, James Tolkien. Tolkien was already in his 50s when he was cast as Principal Strickland in Back to the Future. But this is definitely the role he is remembered by. Tolkien had served in the U.S. Navy for a year before he started acting. So not surprisingly, he became famous for his portrayal of tough characters, like dangerous criminals and mean bosses. Tolkien has not been actively filming in the past decade, and in general, the latest mention of a movie involving him dates back to 2015. Well, that is quite understandable. The veteran actor is 88 years old, after all. Claudia Wells. Wells, who landed the role of Marty's girlfriend Jennifer, gained massive recognition after the movie release, just like every other member of the cast. However, soon the tragedy hit the family. Claudia's mother was diagnosed with cancer. The 20-year-old decided to put her career on hold in order to spend more time with her mom. It is only in 2011 when Wells returned to acting, but her second breakthrough has never happened.
Hi everybody, Claudia Wells here.
At least not yet. Bad news for the movie fans, like ourselves, don't expect the fourth part of Back to the Future. Zemeckis crushed our hopes saying that as long as he and Gail are alive, the world won't see the movie continuation. He made it crystal clear, saying, "There will never, ever be, in the most absolutely way, a Back to the Future 4. Even though we also want to have more of Marty and Doc's adventures, we can understand the film creators. The trilogy was so complete that it would be hard to come up with yet another equally brilliant sequel." And what is your opinion on this? Would you like to see Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd reunite? Let us know in the comment section below.